All right, folks, here's a video on 1.2.1 objects, which are instances of classes, and a little origami fun. But I wanted to draw your attention to this video, the true and false questions, this video, or not true and false. Yeah, I guess they kind of are. These are super important. This is like the foundations of Java and what we're doing this year. So watch these videos carefully. Answer these questions. If you get any wrong, I'd watch the video again. This is all really good stuff, and it is the basics of what our class is built on. So object-oriented programming, or OOP, as we call it, uses objects and methods and classes. Class is kind of like the blueprint of your how to make objects and what attributes they have. The objects themselves are called an instance of a class. It's kind of like, you can have the blueprint of how to make a Mustang car, but until you actually produce one that comes off the line, it's not an object, it's just a class. But when you actually get one and drive it off, that's an object. The objects can do methods that are defined in the class. The making of it is called instantiation. It basically creates this new object from the class and uses the blueprint to do it. And an instance of the class is an object, okay, called instantiating and an instance. All right, so then we're going to make an origami cake, and it's going to be used down below for like methods and to kind of connect these ideas together. But if you have normal paper, just make sure you do the classic trick of, folding, because this is my paper here, right? The classic trick to make it a square is to fold, one corner down, and then diagonally, and then you're going to have yourself a line to cut on to make it a beautiful square. Okay, so I'm going to pause and do that. Okay, now that I have a square, since a lot of origami is better with two different colors, they said to use a colored piece of paper, but I'm just going to use a colored pencil and make one side green, because then when you get to the directions, you're going to see they kind of show which side you're folding on with color. So I'm going to color mine green and then go through the process. So I went through these steps and, kind of did all this accordion folding and fold down and bent the edges in and gave it a little curve. And, yeah, made this beautiful work of art. There's color there. It's hard to see, but it stands up on its own. Awesome. So now to the other part of that. So one of the things to think about with even this kind of silly thing of doing some origami is you're following instructions kind of step by step like a computer program. And if you were to make a class for this, you could say, okay, this is a class origami cake, public class, it's capitalized. And what we usually write first in a class, we haven't had to do this yet, are its attributes. Sometimes you'll see me use the word fields here, or they call them instance something or other. We'll get to the third name for it. But something that each cake would have is each one has its own size, because if you used a little piece of paper, it's going to be smaller or bigger piece. If you start off with an 8.5 by 11, and each one's going to have its color, like mine was green. I don't know what color yours is going to be. And then behaviors are methods. So these are fields or attributes where you talk about strings and kind of the characteristics of it. So if I were talking about a car, it would be like 2-door or 4-door, or it's all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, turbocharged or not. So that's basically attributes, miles per gallon, that sort of thing. And then behaviors are things it can do or things you do to it. So like we had placed two sheets together. These are called methods, and you'll usually see parentheses at the end of them. Fold in half diagonally, fold top down, fold bottom up, make a fan fold, fold two sides back, make three light folds. So when you look at this, which ones would you reuse or repeat? When we were doing all that up and down folding, I did fold top down, fold bottom up over and over again when I made that little, cute ruffle looking thing. So basically, let's see, what decorations could you add? I could make a method, that looks sort of like this called add sprinkles or frost it or something like that. All these methods would have to be defined in the class itself and tell you exactly what it does. So yeah, we could do decorations like this. You could say add a layer, add frosting, add candles. So we can have all sorts of modifiers to our behaviors. I wonder what they say. Oh, hey, not bad. Candles, nice call. So yeah, and then we'll get into the next one. But make sure you know the difference between a class and an object. Watch those videos up above. They're like 3 minutes each. So yeah. Anyway, I will get into the next one where I actually code some stuff similar to this.